Hi everyone, this is Tyler with Codemoji, and today I'm going to walk you through how to build a project on the Codemoji website. So when a student logs in, their page is going to look very similar to this. To get to the coding area to build a project, you're going to click on My Projects. As you can see, I've done a couple different ones, and if you would like to edit it, you click the pencil. If you'd like to delete it, you hover over the trash can. So I'm going to go ahead and show you one that I've done previously, and then we're going to code our own. So right here we have a page about one of my kitties, Pecan. We have a couple different features. We have a border, we have a hover, a function, we have different colors of text and image, and just some really fun things happening. Over here we have HTML, which if you remember stands for Hypertext Markup Language. That is where text is going to go, the order the text is going to be in. And over here we have CSS, which stands for Cascading Style Sheets, which is like the artist or the designer of your web page. So what we're going to do to go build our project is we're going to go here and we're going to click New Project. First thing you want to do is click Save Code. So I'm going to go ahead and name my project Cashew because we're going to make another page about another one of my furry friends. So before you start coding, maybe you want to think about what your theme of your web page wants to be and kind of design everything around that, or just have some fun with it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a header. So to type a header, you're going to type H1. Now there are different headers that you could do, but for the purpose of just starting to write our code, we're going to start with H1. So I'm going to type cashew. And then I'm going to do my closing bracket. So we always have to have an opening tag and a closing tag with HTML. As you can see, the HTML and body ones were already here for us. So what I did was I typed H1, opening tag, cashew, and then I did my closing tag. So to code and to design that H1, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go down to CSS. So first I have to tell CSS, what am I designing? What am I changing? So I'm going to change my H1. And then I'm going to do the curly bracket for CSS. So CSS seems to be very finicky with the spaces, so try really, really hard to avoid using the space bar. So I'm going to click Enter. The first thing I want to do is I want to change the color, colon, to, let's say, red, semicolon. And as you can see, the font color has changed. Now here you can go ahead and change the color to whatever you'd like, blue, green, whatever your choice is. And then I'm going to make sure I don't hit that space. I'm just going to go ahead and hit Enter. Let's go ahead and let's change where the text is. So if I want to change where the text is sitting, I'm going to do text align, colon, and let's make it center, semicolon. And then I'm going to click Enter to go to the next line. I can also give my text a background color. So let's go ahead and make it black. And again, this you can be very creative, have a lot of fun with it. And then to end, tell CSS, hey, I'm done coding my header. I'm going to do the curly bracket over there on that last line. So let's go ahead and go up to HTML and let's code another item. Let's code the marquee. So a marquee, just like when you think of like a movie theater, they have a scrolling marquee. You can do that here. So I'm going to say marquee and I'm going to say cashew is so cute and furry. And I always have to do my closing tag. And as you can see my text scrolling from left to right. So if I want to go down here and I want to code my marquee, I first have to tell CSS, oh, this is what I want to code. So I'm going to type here, marquee, bracket. And I'm going to say, I want the color to be white, but I want the background to be green. And, oh, let's see. Actually, let's change this color to blue. And then let's change the font size to 20 pixels. There we go. So if I want to change that font size again, 100 pixels is going to make it very large. As you can see, it wasn't quite working properly because I had that space after the semicolon. So just make sure if it's not working, check your spaces and make sure there's no spaces created by the spacebar. So now my background is working. Let's make it, let's do pink maybe? Perfect. So I've changed the color, I've changed the font size, and I've changed the background color of my text. So I think I'm done coding my marquee, so now I'm going to go ahead and code something else. The next thing I'm going to show you is a paragraph. Now, let's say that you want to do a couple different paragraphs. So maybe you want to say, cashew is orange, which he is. And then we do a closing tag. And let's say I want to make another paragraph that says, cashew loves to put his paw in the water. Now, if you notice, both of these paragraphs, if I go down here to CSS and I do, let's code my paragraphs, I'm going to do P, my P tag, my bracket, and I'm going to say color, let's do purple, and then let's say font size, 30 pixels, and closing tag. Now, let's say I wanted to do my first paragraph a different color or a different size. So what I'm going to do up here in my P tags and my paragraph tags is actually I'm going to give them a class. So if I go to line 5 and I'm going to say class equals, and I'm going to do the quotation marks, and I'm going to say A. And the reason I'm going to say A is because I just need to give it a name. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say point A, and I'm going to do my opening bracket, and I'm going to say color blue. Now you can see where I labeled my P class as A. Over here, it's now changing it to blue. So if you wanted to differentiate and make different lines, even though they're all headers, they're all paragraphs, you can differentiate by using these class tags. So let's say color blue. What other things can I do? Let's change the alignment. So I'm going to say text align right. And I'm going to go ahead and change the background again. I love doing that. It's just so fun making something your own. So now you can see how I've made that a little bit different. So another thing that I would like to do is I would like to change the background, the color of my web page. So if you notice up here in HTML, we already have some body tags, so I can actually code the body. So I'm going to type in body, and I'm going to change my background hyphen color to red. Oof, that's intense. And this is where I'm going to add a border. So if I wanted to add a border, I would type in border. I would type in the size of my border. And let's go ahead. Let's look at it like this. Sometimes in code, you got to debug it just a little bit, see what you're working with, see how it's going to work. Let me come back to that border. But let's go ahead and let's add a hover. Oh. There we go. Semicolon and bracket. try one more thing for the border. Let's do border 20 pixel dotted black. Let's see if that works. There we go. Okay, so for the border, I had to go back and debug a little bit. I had a space after red, which was preventing my border to work. And so what I did here for border was I typed in border. I have the size of the border, what style of border, and the color. So if I wanted it to be larger, I can change the pixel size. If I want to change the color, I can change that. And if you Google different border words for CSS, you'll be able to find a lot of different types of border style. I like dotted, so let's go ahead and stick to that. So now to add that hover feature where I take my mouse and I go over the page, that is going to be called hover. So I'm going to do another CSS area. So I'm going to call it body, and I'm going to go to hover. And let's say when I hover over it, I want my background color to be magenta and end. So when I go away, my background color defaults to red, but when I hover my mouse, it changes to magenta. So these are some really, really fun things that you can do with HTML and CSS. I really recommend that you take some time and play with it, change things, edit things, make sure you save your code when you have a couple moments, and just really have a great time. If you're not sure what to do, please go ahead and just find some really cool colors to do, change your border, change your text, add more text, and I hope you have a really great time with this tool. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.